The email arrived at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Subject line, "You deserve to know the truth." No name, no signature, just a burner email address that looked like random letters and numbers. I almost deleted it. Spam, I thought. Phishing scam, some bot trying to get me to click a link. But then I saw the attachment count, 47 photos. My finger hovered over the delete button. Then I clicked open. The first photo loaded slowly. A restaurant, dim lighting, 2 people at a corner table. I recognized one of them immediately. My wife, Rachel. The second person was a man I'd never seen before. His hand was on hers. I scrolled to the next photo. Same restaurant, different angle. His hand on her face now, her eyes closed, smiling. My chest went tight. I kept scrolling. Photo 3, them leaving together. Photo 4, getting into his car. Photo 5, a hotel parking lot. Timestamp 11:43 p.m. Photo 6, them entering a room, her hand in his. My hand started shaking. I scrolled faster. Photos 7 through 15, different dates, different restaurants, same man. Photos 16 through 23, a weekend trip I thought she'd taken with her sister. She wasn't with her sister. Photos 24 through 31, my house, my driveway, his car parked there, daytime when I was at work. Photos 32 through 40, timestamps spanning 6 months. 6 months! I reached photo 41 and stopped breathing. It was taken through a window, my bedroom window, my bed, my wife, and him. The last 6 photos were documents, hotel receipts, all paid with a credit card I didn't recognize, restaurant bills, places she told me she'd never been, and the final photo, a lease agreement for an apartment downtown in both their names, signed 3 weeks ago. I sat there in my home office, the glow of the screen lighting up my face, and felt my entire world collapse in real time. Then the email dinged again. New message, same sender. 3 words, check her phone. If you want to know what I found when I checked her phone and who sent me those photos, hit subscribe, because what happened next made me question everything I thought I knew about my marriage, my wife, and myself. My name is Nathan Cross. I'm 39 years old, and I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm a software engineer at a mid-sized tech company. I write code, fix bugs, attend meetings that could have been emails. Normal job, normal life, normal marriage, or so I thought. Rachel and I have been married for 8 years, together for 10. She met at a friend's wedding. She caught the bouquet, I caught her eye. Cheesy, I know, but it worked. She's a physical therapist, works at a clinic in Cherry Creek, helps people recover from injuries, surgeries, accidents. She's good at what she does, patient, caring, the kind of person who remembers her patients' kids' names. Everyone loves Rachel. I loved Rachel. Past tense feels wrong, but after those photos, I don't know what tense to use anymore. We had a good marriage. I thought we did. We didn't fight much, we laughed at the same stupid shows, we had routines. Saturday mornings, farmer's market, then brunch. Sunday nights, meal prep for the week. Wednesday evenings, her yoga class, my pickup basketball game. It was comfortable, predictable, safe. Looking back now, I realize comfortable can be a trap. Because when you're comfortable, you stop paying attention. You stop noticing the small changes, like how she started putting her phone face down on the table, or how she'd take calls in the other room, or how late nights at the clinic became more frequent. I noticed, but I didn't see. I told myself she was stressed, busy, tired. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself a lot of things. All of them were lies I needed to believe to keep my world intact. The night the email arrived, Rachel was already asleep, or pretending to be. I sat in my office until 2 a.m. staring at those photos, my mind racing through every moment of the last 6 months,
trying to find the signs I'd missed. They were everywhere. The weekend trip to visit her sister in Boulder? Photo evidence said she was in Breckenridge with him. The team building retreat her clinic supposedly had in Vail? Hotel receipt showed a room for 2, not a conference. The Tuesday nights she started covering evening shifts? His car in our driveway, multiple times. I felt like an idiot. No, I felt like a man who'd been living in a carefully constructed lie, and someone had just handed me the blueprints. At 2:47 a.m., I finally stood up. My legs felt weak. My head felt full of static. I walked down the hall to our bedroom. Rachel was on her side, facing away from me, breathing steady. Her phone was on the nightstand, face down. Always face down now. I stood there in the doorway, watching her sleep, and realized I was looking at a stranger. How long had she been a stranger? The email's last message echoed in my head. Check her phone. I could walk away, pretend I never saw the photos, go back to comfortable. Or I could know. Really know. I picked up her phone. Her passcode used to be our anniversary, 0614. I tried it. Incorrect passcode. She'd changed it. I tried her birthday. Incorrect. My birthday. Incorrect. I stood there, phone in hand, and felt the last thread of denial snap. People don't change their passcodes unless they're hiding something. I tried one more combination. Her mother's birthday. The phone unlocked. I didn't go through her texts right away. First, I opened her photo gallery. Hundreds of photos. Most of them normal. Us, friends, her patient's progress photos. Then I scrolled back. 6 months. There he was. Selfies, dinner photos, him kissing her cheek, her laughing. Photos of them hiking, a trail I'd suggested we do together, but she said she was too busy. Photos in bed, not my bed, sheets I didn't recognize. Photos of them at a concert. She'd told me she was working late that night. I kept scrolling, my thumb moving on autopilot, my brain trying to process what my eyes were seeing. There were more photos of him than there were of me. In her camera roll, in her life. I was the side character in my own marriage. Then I opened her texts.
The thread with him, saved under the name Dana, was at the top. I clicked it. Thousands of messages. I scrolled to the beginning. 8 months ago. Him. Hey, it was great meeting you today. Hope your shoulder feels better. Rachel. Thanks, you're a lifesaver. Same time next week? He was a patient. That's how it started. I kept reading. Week 2, professional. Week 3, friendly. Week 4, flirty. Week 6, I can't stop thinking about you. Week 8, I know this is wrong, but I don't care. Week 10, I love you. My wife told another man she loved him, and he said it back. I sat on the edge of the bed, her phone in my hand, reading message after message, plans to meet, excuses she'd use, jokes about me. Him. Is he suspicious? Rachel. No, he's clueless, works all the time anyway. That one hit different. I scrolled further. Rachel. I'm tired of pretending. I want to be with you. Him. Then leave him. Rachel. I will. I just need to figure out the timing. The timestamp on that message? 3 weeks ago, right around the time she signed a lease on an apartment with him. She wasn't just cheating, she was planning an exit, and I was the last to know. I don't know how long I sat there, long enough for the sun to start creeping through the blinds, long enough for Rachel to stir. She rolled over, saw me sitting there, phone in my hand. Her eyes went wide. Nathan? I didn't say anything. She sat up. What are you doing? I held up her phone. Who's Dana? Her face went pale. That's a friend from... Don't, I said quietly. Don't lie to me anymore. She opened her mouth, closed it. How long? I asked. Nathan,
How long? She looked away. 8 months. 8 months. 2/3 of a year. 2 holidays, 3 vacations, countless nights where she came home and kissed me like nothing was wrong. Are you in love with him? She didn't answer. That was answer enough. I stood up, set her phone on the nightstand. I'm going to stay at a hotel, I said. Nathan, wait, we need to talk about this. No, I said, we don't. You made your choice 8 months ago. I'm just catching up. Please, I'll come back for my things this weekend. I walked out. She didn't follow. I checked into a Hampton Inn off I-25, sat on the edge of a bed that smelled like industrial detergent and stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. Rachel. 15 texts, all variations of I'm sorry and let me explain and it's not what you think. I didn't respond. Then another email came through. Same sender as the photos. Subject line, I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I opened it. Nathan, I know this is a lot to process. I debated whether to send those photos for weeks, but you deserved to know. I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm doing this because someone did the same for me once, and it saved my life. Her name is Claire. We should talk. There's more you need to know. At the bottom was a phone number. I stared at that number for 20 minutes. Who was this person? How did they get those photos? Why did they care? Finally, I called. A woman answered on the second ring. Nathan? Yeah? Thank you for calling. I know this is a lot. Who are you? She hesitated. My name is Claire Hoffman. I'm a private investigator. Did Rachel hire you? No, someone else did. Who? Another pause. Your wife's boyfriend's wife. The room tilted. He's married? Yes, has been for 12 years. 3 kids. I sat down hard on the bed. Claire continued. His wife, Jessica, suspected something 6 months ago. She hired me to follow him. That's how I got the photos. Why send them to me? Because Jessica wanted you to know. She said you deserved the truth. And honestly, so did I. I didn't know what to say. Nathan, there's more. More? The apartment they leased together? Your wife paid the deposit, $4,500, from your joint account. My stomach dropped. I have bank records, receipts, everything. She paused. She's been planning this for months, and she's been using your money to do it. I met Claire 2 days later at a coffee shop in Capitol Hill. She was in her mid-40s, sharp eyes, the kind of person who notices everything. She slid a folder across the table. This is everything I gave Jessica. I'm giving you a copy. I opened it. Bank statements, highlighted charges, hotels, restaurants, the apartment deposit, a furniture purchase, all from our joint account. She spent over $20,000 of your money on this affair, Claire said. I felt sick. There's more. How can there be more? Claire pulled out another document. She's been talking to a divorce attorney, filed initial paperwork 2 weeks ago. What? She's planning to file for divorce and claim you were emotionally absent. She's going to ask for alimony and half of everything. I stared at the paperwork. My name, her name, legal terms I didn't understand. She's going to leave you and make you pay for it, Claire said, unless you move first. I hired a lawyer that afternoon. His name was Richard Castellano, former prosecutor. Didn't smile much. Didn't need to. I showed him everything, the photos, the texts, the bank statements, the lease. He read through it all, stone-faced. This is good, he finally said. Good? For your case. Colorado is a no-fault state, but adultery and financial misconduct still matter in asset division. He leaned back. She used marital funds to finance an affair. That's dissipation of assets. We can argue she should reimburse you. Can we win? With this evidence? Absolutely. He started making notes. We'll file first, request temporary orders, freeze joint accounts, get ahead of her. How long will this take? Depends on whether she fights, but with this evidence, I don't think she'll want to go to trial. He looked up. Nathan, I need you to be smart. Don't contact her. Don't argue. Don't give her ammunition. I won't. Good. Let me handle this. We filed 3 days later. Rachel was served at her clinic. She called me 17 times that afternoon. I didn't answer. Then she showed up at my hotel.
I was in the lobby when she walked in. Her eyes were red, hair pulled back. She looked smaller somehow. "Nathan, please, we need to talk." My lawyer said. "I don't care what your lawyer said." Her voice cracked. "I'm your wife." "No," I said quietly. "You were my wife. You stopped being my wife when you decided to build a life with someone else. It wasn't like that." It was exactly like that. I pulled out my phone, showed her the bank statements. "You spent $20,000 of our money on him." Her face went white. "You leased an apartment, bought furniture, planned a whole future with my money. I was going to pay you back." "When? After you divorced me and took half of everything?" She didn't have an answer. "I know you already filed paperwork, Rachel. I know you've been planning this." Tears started falling. "Who told you that? Does it matter?" She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. "You've changed." "No," I said. "I just stopped being blind." The divorce took 4 months. Rachel tried to fight at first, claimed the affair just happened, that she still cared about me, that we could work it out. But Richard was relentless. He presented the evidence, every photo, every text, every receipt. Her lawyer tried to argue that the money she spent was minimal in the context of our marriage. Richard showed that she'd spent more on her affair in 6 months than we'd spent on our last 3 vacations combined. Her lawyer tried to claim emotional distress. Richard presented the texts where she joked about me being clueless. Her lawyer tried to ask for alimony. Richard laughed, actually laughed in the courtroom. "Your client makes $85,000 a year. My client makes $92,000. She had an affair. She dissipated marital assets, and you want him to pay her?" The judge agreed. No alimony. Rachel had to reimburse me $15,000 for the money she spent on the affair. We split the house equity 50-50, but I got to keep my retirement accounts intact. She got her car, I got mine. Clean break. The day the divorce was finalized, I sat in my new apartment, a 1-bedroom in Lodo with big windows and 0 memories, and felt nothing. Not relief, not sadness, just empty. I'd spent 4 months fighting, documenting, protecting myself, and now it was over. I poured a bourbon, sat on my new couch, stared at the city lights. My phone buzzed. "Claire, just wanted to check in. How are you holding up?" I typed back, "Surviving. That's all you need to do right now. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. You deserved the truth." I set the phone down and realized something. I did deserve the truth, and now that I had it, I could finally start building a life that wasn't based on lies. 6 months later, I was doing better. Therapy helped, so did time. I started running again, joined a climbing gym, reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with. I even went on a few dates, nothing serious, just trying. One night, I was at a brewery with some coworkers when I saw her. Rachel. She was with him, the guy from the photos. They were at a table in the corner. She was laughing. He was talking. They looked happy.
For a second, I felt that old familiar ache. Then I looked at my friends, heard them laughing about something stupid, felt the weight of the last year lift just a little. And I realized I didn't want that life anymore. Not with her, not with anyone who could lie that easily. I wanted something real, something honest, something that didn't require 47 photos to prove it was falling apart. A week later, I got one more email. Same sender. "Nathan, I hope you're doing okay. I know this year has been hell. I wanted you to know Jessica left him too. She took the kids. He lost his job. The affair fell apart when it became real. Rachel reached out to Jessica last month, asked if they could talk. Jessica told her to lose her number. I don't know if that brings you any peace, but I thought you should know. You did the right thing. Take care of yourself.
Claire. I read it twice. Then I deleted it. Not because I was angry, because I didn't need to know anymore. What Rachel did after we ended wasn't my story. My story was what I built next. I'm 40 now, single, starting over. I have a new apartment, new routines, new friends. I'm learning to trust again, slowly. I'm learning that love isn't supposed to feel like a mystery you have to solve. It's supposed to feel like coming home. And if it doesn't, if there are passwords you don't know, and phones that stay face down, and nights that don't add up, walk away. You deserve better than 47 photos proving what your gut already knew. If this story hit home, comment, "I deserve better." If you've ever ignored the signs, if you've ever chosen comfort over truth, if you've ever had to rebuild after betrayal, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more stories about the hard truth and the harder choice to walk away. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is believe the evidence, even when it breaks your heart.